Good evening. How are you? And how was your holiday weekend? Here in the United States, we had a Labor Day weekend, 3-day weekend for most of us, and what we consider to be pretty much the last holiday of the summer. Kids are back in school. Hi, Linda. How are you tonight? We have I don't know about you all around the country, but we've actually had some cooling off temperatures also in the evening. So we've had some cool nights here. Hi, Linda. Nice to see you. Debbie's here from Glendale. It's never cool in Glendale, right, Debbie? Jeannie Brooks is here from Mount Vernon, Washington. I do need to let you know that I do not have someone here watching for questions tonight. So, what I will be doing is I will be kind of trying to do both duties. Linda said it was a beautiful day, cool and 70-ish. That's about what it was here today, too, Linda. And the other Linda says cooling down state too. Good. Sandy, hot and very hot in Tampa, Florida. Pam is here from Maine. So nice to see everybody tonight. What we're going to be doing is using our SpinFX template 1. Hi, Diane. Nice to see you. Dinah is here from Louisiana. Ruth Ellen says, um, let's see what she says. I missed last Tuesday, went to see a movie, Forged, and Wednesday morning was at church quilting with the ladies, but got to watch later on Wednesday. Well, Ruth Ellen, I'm glad you didn't miss out totally, and it looks like you were probably having fun, so that's a good thing. Linda Smith Martindale's here from El Paso. Only in the low 80s today for Linda. That's a good thing. Charlene was 94 in Colorado. Evelyn's here from Indiana. Janice is here from Kentucky. And our other Janice is here from High Neighbor. Janice, the other Janice lives just down the road from me. So let's go ahead and hi, Terry. Nice to see you. 105 in Glendale right now. Debbie, I'm glad I'm not in Glendale right now. Brenda's here from Michigan. Love Michiganders. Okay, so if I miss your question, just please ask it again. I will do my best to watch for questions as well as to do what we're here to do tonight. So, what we've got SpinFX 1, where it all started. Hi, Wanda Roll. Wanda is my friend from north. Janice is my friend from south, and Wanda's my friend from north. So SpinFX 1 comes, of course, you can get every template individually if you want, but it always comes in a collection set of 5 as well. And this is true for all SpinFX. Okay, 3.5, 5.5, 7.5, 9.5, and 11.5 inches. Now, what I like to talk about when we're talking about the SpinFX templates, excuse me, I have to say hi to a few people yet. Hi, Jan. Nice to see you. And Sandy's here. Marcia's here. We got 2 North Carolinians. And I'm not even sure I'm saying that right. Hopefully I am. Okay, so this is a picture of what those 5 templates look like. And in the SpinFX package, you will also get, notice that here it says that the SpinFX is available in 7 sizes. Well, the reason it's available in 7 is because we have our mini sizes. Our mini SpinFX are 2.5 inch and 1.5 inch. And then we get to get a little visual here as to what it's going to look like when it's stitched out with a different number of rotations. And then it shows how we can stitch those rotations out. Okay. Then on the back, a lot of times it will give us some little extras. Alrighty, so here is our 3.5, and that is the one that we are going to use first. Now, if I were purchasing my Spinifex, say I needed a Spinifex 1 7.5 inch, okay, for a project that I'm doing, I would take a look at it. Watching on Dee Dee, welcome from Las Vegas. She's watching on her phone. What I would do is I would strongly consider, rather than buying just one template and then trying it out and finding out how much you love it, I would go ahead and purchase the whole set. And the reason being is the sets are extremely versatile. There is so many things that you can do with the whole set of templates. In the long run, it's much less expensive to buy the set than it is to buy the individual templates. Um, and I just think it's a better overall value for the amount of money you're spending. I really do. Because once you get to see some of the things that we're gonna see tonight, I think you're gonna agree with me that buying the set is probably just a little better than buying an individual template. First thing we're going to do tonight, I wanna tell you guys, I am right now working on an embroidery project with some friends of mine. Good evening, Diane. Lakes Entrance, Victoria, Australia. So good to have you here. It really is. So anyway, as we were playing and I started thinking about this, I've never been a big embroiderer. But I'm telling you, I'm liking embroidery more and more. And So Steady has been putting out some really beautiful embroideries. The ones that I'm infatuated with right now are the frames, okay? So the first design we're gonna do tonight is with one of the embroidery frames from the So Steady Embroidery collection. Okay, and it's the starter set collection. I had to stop and think about that. I'm going to use my Spinifex 1 3.5 inch, and this came from collection 1, and it's just a frame. Okay, so what I did was I made sure that my template would fit in here. And the way that I did that was I actually kind of tried a couple out. I set my 3.5 inch in here. I set my 5.5 inch in here. And it's kind of like the Goldilocks thing, right? Too small, too large, just right. This is actually too large. The 3.5 is going to work just fine for us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put my foot down. I'm going to move you a little closer. I want to make sure you can see this well. And while I'm doing that, I want to take a look. Oh, Roxanne is here. Good evening. Sewing Bev is here and loves the embroidery design, Sewing Bev says. And then she is one of our North Carolina girls. Okay. And Marilyn is here from Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada. And Bev Welsh Whitaker is here from Dryden, Ontario. Oh, I just love the diversity that we have in this crowd. I love it. Okay, I'm going to see. There we go. We're going to turn that on just a little bit. And the reason I like to do that is so that I can see. Truthfully, when the lights are off, I have a very difficult time seeing. I know it's more important that you see than I see, but it's always a good thing if I'm in the right spot. So what I've done here is I have put 16 rotations. I centered it inside of the frame that I stitched in earlier from our embroidery. And we're just going to make, and I haven't decided yet whether I'm going to do 8 rotations on here or I'm going to do 16. Have not made that decision. Now, when I'm doing spin effects, what I like to do is go across as opposed to around the reference lines. So I'm going here from 1 to 9. And now we don't have to hold on to our threads anymore. As a matter of fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to reach back here and I am going to clip those threads off and get rid of this long tail so it's not in our way as we progress. And we're not going to do anything super special with this spin effects. I just want to show you what the spin effects looks like. And you may notice I do not have my Singer 301 back out here yet. I'm hoping by next week we will. Okay, and here we go. This is going to give us 4 rotations. By doing it across from each other, each of these rotations across, it pulls our fabric in a more even manner. So here what you've got is this is just a very, very simple design. There's not a whole lot to it, but it's beautiful, right? It really is. Hi, Rita. Rita's made it from Northern Victoria, Australia. Lisa's here from Sugarland, Texas. And Janice is here from Massachusetts. Awesome. Great to have you guys here. Okay, so I think I want to go just a little bit more on this design. So I'm going to put it back in, close my gate, and we're going to do another 4 rotations to make this an 8 rotation design. And I do very much what I like about this particular design or this particular template. We can do a lot of really cool embellishments with this template. Okay. Now, remember that we are on a curve. Whenever we're on a curve, we do like to try and make that stitch a little smaller. And you know what, guys? My foot is awful loose here. I have a feeling I did not tighten it when I switched. There we go. Don't need it flopping around there. Oh, that's so much better. I'll bet none of you have ever forgotten to tighten the screw holding your foot in when you're doing a project and switching back and forth, right? Okay, let's see. Suzanne is here. Hi from Iowa. Carol Ruggins is here from Calgary, Alberta. Welcome, welcome, Carol. Okay, and here's going to be 8 rotations. By keeping that stitch length a little shorter, it's going to give the look of the curve more smoothly. And I think we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a look and see if we want to stop here. What do you think? Do you like that? Would you like me to stop at 8 or do you want me to do a whole 16? This is up to you guys tonight, okay? Hi, Betty from Oregon. Let's see what kind of response we get. Okay. 8. Yeah, everybody thinks that 8 is great. They're looking good. Oh, one person, Teresa, says 16. But I think everybody else says stop at 8, so I think we're going to go ahead and do that. I'm sorry, Teresa. We're going to take it out. Remember, this is a practice piece, so I'm not burying threads. Isn't this awesome, though? You take a look at that little bit of embroidery around this this motif, and it looks absolutely fabulous. Now, let me go ahead and I'm going to try and get rid of some of this chalk here so that you get a better idea of what it's like. I love this brush. It does such a nice job removing the chalk. Even though I use the Ultimate Pounce Powder, which can be easily ironed off, sometimes it's just not always convenient to get up and go to the iron. So this does help a lot. Thank you, Sue. Yes, Sewing Bev said if I had if you do 16, you would use a larger template. Yes, I would. And what I probably would have done, Sewing Bev, is I would have gone ahead and I would have enlarged that embroidery. This embroidery was on, I believe, 6x6 hoop. But it is, I agree, Sewing Bev, it's a very pretty design. It's not overly done. It's actually quite simple. So I do like it. Debbie Poole says it. This one reminds her of an atom. Yeah, my science need is showing. I get you. I get you. If we went and got some our little 1/4 inch circles, we could put them in there, Debbie, and that would definitely make an atom for us. Oh, never thought of doing that, but I digress. We won't. Okay, so the next thing that I do want to show you, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my crosshair right here. We haven't talked about this in quite a while either, and that is when I make my crosshair. Hi, Bernice. Awesome. If you show it, please don't forget to post it on Westerly by me so that we can see it, okay? Um, Now I want to try something here, guys. Okay. Just needed to check something out. When I do my crosshairs, now obviously I'm going to be in the middle of my fabric. What I like to do is do a ruler for the horizontal and the vertical crosshair. And when I do that, I line up one of my ruler lines, usually one of the solid lines, right on top of the first line, in this case, the horizontal line that I drew, and then I'm going to make my vertical line. The reason that I do that is because I want to ensure that I have 4 90-degree angles. Hi, Lois. Nice to see you from Delaware. So I have, this is a 90-degree, This is 90, this is 90, and this is 90. Why that's important is because if we get this line off like this, it's going to throw every one of our design rotations off. So we want to be careful to do that. Then what I do is I take my I take my crosshair ruler and I go ahead and fill in the remaining. Now I'm only going to do 8 on this one. So I already have 4 in. So now I just need to add the other 4. Now I do use the 16 crosshair a lot. I really like that because I do use 16 crosshairs a lot. Okay, so basically that's about all that I need to do. And for this particular one, let me see which one I'm going to use. I may use that one, but I think I'll use my Spin Effects 7.5, maybe. Yeah, I think I can. This is pushing it a little close. Okay. I'm going to be honest with you. And I think I'm going to flip back to the 5.5 just because of that. Okay, this is just practice, so it really doesn't matter. But I don't want to get so close here. If we're close like this, our foot can very easily grab that fabric and start moving it. Where if it's down like this, it's much less apt to grab it because we have our stable tape and our fingers holding it steady. Does that make sense? Judy, hi, you just got back from Greenleaf, Wisconsin. Awesome. You're practically neighbors too. Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you on this one. I am going to show you some um, embellishment that we can do. Okay. Okay. Whoops, foot down and needle down. There we go. Okay, I'm just going to Oh, Janice, good, good. Lots of practice. It does. It takes a lot of practice. I'm just going to look here real quick to see if there are um, any questions. Okay. No, I don't see any. All righty. So I've gone ahead and I'm pulling my bobbin thread up in the center. There we go. Sometimes I wonder how this thread gets so long. Oh, it could have something to do with the fact that I didn't cut my bobbin thread before. Oh goodness. Let's try this again. Okay, guys, I'm sorry. All righty. And down we're going to get in our center and we're going to pull that bobbin thread up now. There it is. Beautiful. And down we go. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and make my first rotation. And I'm going to do my embellishment on this as I do the rotations. So I'm going to make one complete rotation. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to cut that thread off. And I did just move my template, but that's not a big problem. We're just gonna go ahead and make sure we've got it moved back, and there it is. And we'll come back right where we should. Oh gosh, I got it, guys. That was, yeah. Okay. Oh, Bernice, nice that you stopped by. Thank you. Thank you, Linda. Enjoy your dinner, okay? Joyce is here from Fairfield, California. Marcia is so right. You improve every time you practice. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, and I know you guys have seen this done before, we're going to take the template and we're going to line it up right on this line of stitching. Okay? And then we're going to simply come back. We're going to stop when we hit that other line of stitching, and we're going to come back to where we started. Okay? I'm going to do that again. I'm again twisting my template until I touch this line of stitching. Okay, off we go. And go back. And you know what? I'm thinking one more time. Okay, so this will be the third line of stitching we're going to be putting in. Stop at these outside. We're going to come back in and we're going to stop. Now that looks pretty cool on its own, wouldn't you say? I love that. I absolutely love it. But I want to go just one, I want to go one step further. Okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to come and now I'm going to push in the left side of the template. And we're going to do the same thing in the opposite direction. And we're going to come back down to the center. There we go. Now I'm going to turn it the second time. And I love the result of this. And as soon as we get this third in, I'm going to share that result with you that I find to be so fascinating. And one more time. All the way out, stop at the edge of the design and come back in. This lays down a lot of thread, there's no doubt about it. But when it's all done, look at the gorgeous curved crosshatch you have in each one. Hi, Carolyn. Good to see you. Kathy, you made it. Good to see you. Isn't that awesome? I absolutely love curved crosshatching. Thank you, Janice. Janice says she loves this. I've always been infatuated with the curved crosshatching, and to me, this makes it so easy to do. So let's go ahead and we're going to do one more time. Now, again, because I'm using the spin effects, I'm not going to go around. I'm going to come and do it on the opposite side. And using my vertical center, I went to the bottom. This time I'm going to use my vertical center on the top. Now I am going to do one other thing a little differently on this, because all that cross hatching has 2 layers of stitching. But the outside oval, because this really is kind of an oval, only has 1 layer of stitching. So some people might be concerned that it looks a little off, that it's not balanced. But that's no problem, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around this template 2 times. And it will give me the same weight of thread as if I did it all. Okay, so as long as you don't move your template, going around it, you could go around it 50 times. As long as you don't move that template, you're good to go. So now you're going to see that it's going to give us the entire motif is going to have that double stitching on it. And we'll show you the difference as soon as we get this motif finished. The last one I just showed you, I had 3 lines of stitching. This one, I'm just going to put 2 lines of stitching so you can get an idea of what that looks like, because it always looks a little different, right? Stop. Don't forget to make sure your needle is down and your machine has stopped stitching before you move that template. Okay? Because if you don't, you could accidentally get that template under that needle, and it can hit the needle, and it can break the needle, break your template, and throw your machine out of time. You don't want that repair bill. Okay, there we go. So there's 2 done to the left. Now we're going to come on the right side, and we're going to do 2 more. All right. Here's one. And we're going to come back, and we're going to do 1 more. Again, making sure everything is stopped before I move my template. And remember, now this is on an arc, so of course you want that stitch length to be just a little bit shorter. So I'm going to go ahead and take this one off, and I'm going to take it right out of there. I want you to be able to really appreciate the difference between 1 line of stitching on the outside and 2 lines of stitching on the outside. So here we can see it. You see how different this is with just 1 line, and how everything sits cohesively with 2. Okay, so I hope that helps. Okay, you like them both. Sandy loves them both. Yeah, it really is. Hi, Willie. Glad to see you. Portia is here too. I didn't see you sneak in. Okay, Susan asks a really good question. Is there a concern from so much thread collecting in the center? Yeah. In a word, yes. Okay. However, what you can do is you can move it off a little to one side and stop your stitching. And let me show you what I mean when I say that, okay? Because that's a really good question, and it's a really common issue when we're doing these heavy, heavy patterns. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull my thread up in the center. I need to put, there we go. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my foot down and my needle down. Come on. Okay, so that's the first one. I've only got 2 rotations in here, and already that thread is getting pretty thick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to start my third rotation here. Whoops, that's one of the problems. And I'm going to come around. Now right here, I really want you to be able to see this. I'm going to bring you in really tight, okay? Right here, you'll see that I've got a lot of thread building up. So what I can do without moving my template, I'm kind of going around that inside and not really hitting the center of the template. The key is do not move the template. That's really important. So now let's see how well I did. Not too bad. I'm able to keep that second line of stitching. This will be the key if I did it right or not. Not too bad. I can't complain about that one. Okay, so now I'm going to come back and do the embellishment. So you see how I'm coming on this side of these stitches right here and getting that one almost into the center, but it's off just a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn my template, and I just made a little bit of a longer stitch. That's not going to matter because those stitches are going to be covered up when we come back over them this way. Right there is where that longer stitch was, and you'll see it does not matter. I'm going to go ahead and again, I'm going to move my template, but I haven't gone completely to the center of the motif. And I'm going to come out and go back in. So that's how you can kind of get around that. You want to be really careful. You don't want to start the bottom of the template up here. You want to make sure that the bottom of the template stays where the bottom of the template should be, because otherwise it's going to throw this side, it's going to throw the size off up at the top, and that will be noticed. I'm going to pull this back. And what I mean is, if you get it up too far here, it's going to come out too long here. Does that make sense? Okay. We're going to go ahead and we're just going to cut that one off. And there we go. So that is our curved cross hatching with the Spin Effects 1. Okay, love the curved cross hatching. And I do very much like it with the double stitching on the outside. Now, I just want to show you, and this can easily be done with this particular template. I'm thinking especially at Easter time. And what you're going to be seeing tomorrow is you're going to be seeing, if you're here with me for coffee, you're going to be seeing a lot of this. And what this is this is a template. And what I did was I used the template to applique onto the block. Okay, so we're going to be taking a look at that tomorrow. But I think that would look really cool with all these different sizes and maybe with pastel color eggs on an Easter project. In the meantime, what I want to show you, uh, that's what I thought. Okay, 3.5, 7.5. There we go. Okay, I'm going to take my 3.5 and I'm going to take my 7.5. And I'm only going to do 8 rounds of this. Okay, Susan says yes. Sue Hunt is here. Did I say good evening, Sue? I'm sorry if I missed you. Okay, let's see what else we got going on here. Just want to check. Okay. Make sure we don't have any questions. And it looks like we're doing good. How are you all doing? Doing well out there? I apologize for this taking long. Okay. All righty. So this one is kind of a different looking one. I did this one a couple different ways. And what I found was I really liked both of them. Um, I could not decide between one or the other. I'm going to be honest with you. I really couldn't. So what we're going to do is we're going to do half one way and half another way so that you can see what I'm talking about. But what I need to do that is put some extra lines in here. Okay. But only on half of this. Oh, goodness, there I go, knocking things over again. Seems to be my specialty, dropping things and knocking them over. Okay. So here, I'm just going to put a couple extra lines. So we're going to have 16 lines on one side and 8 lines on the other. Okay. We're going to pretend that this is line number 1. And I'm going to put my 7.5 inch template on here and pull up my bobbin thread. Somebody may ask, why do I do that even when I'm practicing? Because it doesn't matter when I practice. And you're right, it does not matter when I practice, but it's habit. It really is habit. So, oh, see, thank you, Sue. Okay. So Kathy says, with this spin effects, if you use the pinhole rotation, would you form a circle first? And if so, what size? Okay. Yes, you could form a circle first, Kathy, but you don't have to. Okay. And the size of the circle can be determined. This is a 1/2 inch. So your circle will be 1 inch. Okay. Oh, I take that back. Let's do it and find out. Because to be honest with you, I am not positive. Oops. Okay. We're just going to do this with this pin in, okay? And that way we can know I would rather try it than to take a guess and be wrong at it, okay? I very seldom use the pins in my spin effects, I'm gonna be honest with you. And it's just a personal thing. It's not that they're harder to do or that they turn out funny or any of that stuff. It's just me. There we go. Okay. Now, the question also I would want to know is, are they all going to be the same size circle? And that the answer would be, from the looks of things, yes. And the reason I say that is because when I'm lining these templates all up and the circle goes straight through and the bottom of the template is right here. Okay. So yes, I would say they all come up or they all come out the same size. So I'm going to put this on. Put my foot down and pull my thread up. Okay, we're going to put everything back. And now what we're going to do is we're just going to turn everything around. And I am not good at this. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm really not good at it. This is what we would do if we wanted to do the circle first. Okay. And you can see there it is. And this circle is going to be 2 inches. It will be a 2-inch circle. Okay, so Ruth Ellen says, if this is a spin effects, wouldn't these designs look different with no thread buildup in the center? If you put them on the pin, yes, it would, Ruth Ellen. You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. It certainly would. Like I said, I know that I'm not really good at using that. Um, Something that I've got to learn. That's all there is to it. So this would be a 2-inch circle. So what you could do is you could take your 2-inch simple circle, draw that in, and then be able to stitch along that drawn in circle so that it's smoother. Ruth Ellen said she was wondering the same thing. Yeah, yeah, it definitely would be a lot smoother. So I would use my 2-inch simple circle and then I would just come and go over it as I move around because we all have limitations and I know mine and that's one of them. Makes sense. Thank you, Kathy. Rita says that's what I do. And I agree. I think it's going to be easier. I'm going to go ahead and leave that in there right now because I do want to work with this. Okay, that's the 5.5. There's the 3.5. Okay. I do want to do this design here. So now I need to take the pin out. Duh. Oh my goodness. Okay, here we go. We got that pulled up again and our bobbin thread. And here we go. Foot goes down, needle goes down. Okay, so now what we're doing, this is our rotation number 1. And the first one I'm going to show you is just 8 rotations, okay? The second one will be 16. Whoops, I want to stay there. I want to change this template. And I'm changing it to the 5.5. I'm going to go ahead and clip those threads, get those out of the way, okay? And now I'm going to do the 5.5 inch. The first one I put on was a 7.5 inch, and now I'm doing the 5.5. And around we go. And for any of you Trekkies out there, I know I have at least one, Debbie. This kind of almost looks like the old Star Trek symbol. It's not, but it could be. Okay, so now we're going to go, oops, my tape is letting loose. Okay, and this is an 8 point. So we're going to go on this line. Okay, this one comes off. Now I'm putting on my 5.5 inch. And we're going to do this again. Now, if you don't want to flip around as much, you can come and do the 5.5 and then switch on to the 7.5. Okay, and if you really wanted to, you could go all the way around with one template, come back and do all the entire rotation with the second template. That'll work too. Okay, now I'm going to come around and I'm going to do my 7.5 and then change to my 5.5. Because that is the one thing that will remain constant in these 2 looks that I want to show you. Linda says looks groovy. Yeah, it kind of does look groovy, doesn't it? When we say things like that, we're aging ourselves, I'm afraid. But yeah, some of the things that we look at, the inspiration comes from past experiences, not just what's in front of us today. And you know what? That's a good thing. That's a really good thing. Okay, let me do one more. I want to get at least a couple more in here. There we go. My poor gates, they're flopping around here like nobody's business. Okay. It's a good old age. You're right, Suzanne. Thank you so much, Sandy, for the secondary design. It is cool. I really, really liked it. But when you see how we're going to step that up even one more step, I think you will like that as well. Okay, come back here. We're almost done, guys. We're almost all the way around here. And you can hear that the center is getting a lot of thread buildup in there. That's okay. We can handle it. We're tough. I will tell you that stitching this fast is very foreign to me. I am normally an extremely slow stitcher. Teaching has, especially when I'm teaching live in the classroom, it has helped me to force my hand and stitch just a little bit faster. So I am getting better at it. But I'm kind of a slow person. I just like taking my time, pretty much everything I do. And yeah, I apologize for that. I'm sure that it probably drives some people crazy, but know that I'm trying. Back in, and here is the last one. Make sure my template's lined up, and you see how it jumped right off of there? That was because I've got so much built up in the center right now. And I haven't been working at keeping it off to the side. Okay, so that's the last time we're going to need that size. We're going to put, that was a 7.5. This is a 5.5. And like the guy behind the curtain, we're going to ignore that little line that we stitched in here before. Okay. And there's our last. Now this is atomic flower. This just looks like an atomic flower to me. Sue asked a question, and it's a good question. Is that the key to coming out so good looking by going slower? My answer to that, for me, Sue, is yes. It may not be for everybody, though. Remember, we all are individual. We all have individual ways of doing things. And what I encourage people to do is find your comfort zone. When you find that comfort zone that you can stitch at a particular rate of speed and be comfortable with it, and your stitches look good, that's where you need to be, right there. Okay? For me, that's slow. For you, it might be quick. I know for Donnell McAdams, it is fast. She has her machine going really, really fast. And her stitches turn out beautiful. So it's very personal. Okay, to finish this one off, you remember I put 16 reference lines in half? Well, I actually put 8. So now I'm taking my 3.5-inch template, okay? But I'm not stacking the 3.5. I'm not putting it here, although you could, and that looks pretty cool too. Actually, I have a picture of it here. So this is what it looks like when the 3 of them are stacked. And that's pretty cool. But what we're doing is we're offsetting this. We're not going to stack it. We're just offsetting it, which I thought looked pretty cool too, because we've started a cross hatching in the design already right here. Now with this 3.5 inch, what we're going to do is we're going to emphasize it. Okay. And to do that, we are going to line up that 3.5 inch on the lines between the larger petals that we just put in. So we're only going to take one rotation. Coming back to the center. There we go. And I need to move my needle up just a bit because you saw what happened there, that little slip. That slip was because there is so much thread buildup in the center. Okay, there we go. Now if I start off nice and slow and end off nice and slow, it will end up where it needs to be. There we go. Take your time. And we're going to do this a couple more times. There we go. Remember, you don't need a death grip on this. See how beautiful that looks right here, how it pulls it all together. And this will be our last one. Whoops, there we go. And around we go. And I'm going to go ahead and take it out here, just simply because we have so much thread built up there. And don't forget to, and here we go. So you'll see how that just added yet another layer to the atomic flower. I'm really pleased with this. You know, when I looked at it, I'm going to be honest, I said to myself, well, number one, it's just kind of ovals. What can you do with that? And I'm finding you could do a lot with that. Play with them. Play with those templates. Play on paper. This is what I do. I just kind of come in and I play on paper with them and come up with what I think is going to work and what isn't. Here is another one that we don't have time to do tonight. Again, with the Spinifex 1. And this is really cool because you make it look three-dimensional. Really quick, I'm going to give you a sneak peek. Tomorrow, we're going to be looking at ways to make applique out of our templates. This one, I use the strand of pearls to accentuate it. This one, I used embroidery to accentuate it. And this one, I used a combination of stars from the Starry Night collection. I think you can see it there, and free motion. So it's a lot of different things that we can do. And I'm really excited about it. I hope you can make it tomorrow morning. And we'll put that back on here for now. And thank you, Susan. I really appreciate that. What do people use to get their glider slippery? Sandy asked. Well, you know what? That's a great question. because what I use is right here. It is the table polish. Okay, I put it on my table, I put it on my machine bed, and I put it on my slider, my glider. And I put it on the same way with each one, and it works beautiful. It really will help. Okay, Sandy, so try that out and let me know how it works for you, okay? All right, so do we have any additional questions? Let's not forget, like, share, subscribe, and all that. Yes, Kathy, you're right. It does smell good too. It really does. Um, I hope that we get to see the majority of you in the morning. Okay. Don't forget to bring your coffee. For me, it'll be I don't do coffee, you guys. I'm boring. I don't drink coffee, I don't drink alcohol, and I don't drink tea. But I do drink Diet A&W because it's got a lot of caffeine. Brenda, you are so welcome. Janice, thank you so much. I'm really glad that you enjoyed it tonight. So until we meet again, let's quilt.